must be hard. It must be hard for you as well, because like you obviously were brought up in Africa, and you're like the opposite of a coconut. You're what's black on the inside and white on the outside?
Outside.
Nothing.
I underwent, my brother as well, my brother Aaron, or Harun, he's a few years younger than me. As kids from the United States originally, to like a white, Christian family, moving to Chad, which like Sudan is home to many different ethnicities and tribes and identities, and it's predominantly Muslim, where I grew up. From age like 11, 12, I have like very serious reckonings about who the hell am I and how do I fit in? And I actually wanted to fit in. You're not going to hear maybe too many people say this, but as a kid, I wished I was black so that I
mind blown.
So that I wouldn't stand out. Right. And I was tired of, people, no matter where I go, someone follows me, they say something, hey, Nasara, man, you in? People, this is not, I don't judge everybody by this, but like throwing rocks and just saying like random shit just because I'm white. I had to fit in, right? I had to be kind of a chameleon of sorts. In fact, sometimes I enjoyed when like a friend's parent would scold me for doing something wrong, because at least they weren't giving me this like, foreigner privilege kind of deal. But now, as we fast forward to today's day and age, there's a lot of things that even as a kid I understood, but now I'm like, seeing even again and again and again and again, is I had the chance to leave Chad. Like there was no plan that I would stay in Chad and not go study university abroad or something. I never had no, my family never had remotely the fear of running out of like food or anything like that like a lot of my friends or people in our neighborhood may have experienced. And I was faced with immense privilege as a teenager even, right? So I had to come to terms with this. Today, a lot of the definitions being used are pretty monolithic, right? And there's a whole debate among Sudanese people I've been watching. Are you black or are you Arab? Like, do you have to fit into that binary? Are you this or that? Da da da. And so on one way, like I said earlier, the language does not suffice. The language that we have is not enough to describe who we are and to account for our diversities in this spectrum of identity. On the other hand, to use that right now as like an argument to say, oh, let's not talk about things in this way, could potentially be destructive to the entire ideas we talked about earlier of solidarity. Like, let's push our philosophy to the side. Let's push our ideologies over here. All that matters right now is solidarity until police stop abusing their power and killing people. I want to say just being violent, killing people. And I want to add to that military as well. That's what hit me the biggest with the Trump authorizing military to intervene. I thought I left that back in Chad, right? And I'm not saying this is just Chad. I love Chad. I want to go back. But there's a militaristic police state happening there. It's similar to Sudan.
I was going to say,
that prevents me from going and making a movie right now. And I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that, right? And I don't like to see my Chadian brothers and sisters undergo years of this, decades of this, to where their own dreams are crushed. That stuff sucks. And people say, oh, inta Chadi, Bentley, inta min jad, inta Chadian, inta malama taqabbal Chad. Like, why don't you go back to Chad? Bro, the most Chadian thing to do is to leave Chad.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? People are like, oh, it's Malik Tarji'i Sudan. Malik Sudan. I'm like, bitches, you've been entering the lottery every single year since 1988. In 1988, you've been applying for lottery to get out of Sudan, and you're questioning me as to why I'm not going back.